Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Major Mohammed Ali Shah, and I'm going to be in conversation with a renowned cyclist, a very responsible citizen of a country, someone most of us, especially from the Northeast, already know. And of course, they do not need any introduction at all. And for those who do not know, and well, Rohan, as he's popularly known, is a Meitei Christian, and he hopes and prays, and he's making all efforts for peace to come to a beautiful land like Manipur. And I recently heard an interview of Rohan's, and I was very impressed by his thoughts. So I reached out to him and I requested him if he could please be generous enough his time and give us a few minutes to tell what, according to him, could be the way forward to bring back peace in Manipur. Rohan, Jai Hind, and thank you very much for spending time, brother.
Jane. So, Aliji, according to me, I would bring up with this perspective that there is enough of blame game already from both the sides, and more than additional than the blame game, there has been this strategy of taking help from the external sources and making the problem way more bigger. So what I see with the perspective is right now what is facing on in Manipur is the Meiteis and the Kuki people. Many term as is the indigenous and the non-indigenous also. Sometimes people term it as the Manipuri and the external forces also. There are so many different terms right now. So I won't go much broader on that scale. But what I feel is in order to make a peace right now in Manipur, it will be a very good advice not just for the Meiteis but also for our Kuki brothers and sisters, not to elaborate, not to exaggerate this problem. Rather than I won't mention the name of two big organization who has approached me from the states of other states of India, that they have a special request to me telling that Rohan, instead of the Meitei Christians or the Kuki using the Christian cards, why don't you just settle yourself among yourself as just Meiteis and Christians problem? Because unnecessarily dragging the cart of Christian cards and minority cards and tribal card, this is going to create a lot of issues like other for the minority people who are there right now in India. See, I have a very concern. I myself, as a Meitei Christian, we have around a population of 1.5 to 2 lakhs in Manipur itself. We have been victims from both the sides. We have been also had a harassment and verbal attacks and moral displacement from our Meitei brothers, also thinking that we are on the side of Kukis. Kukis have also attacked our Meitei pastors' houses. They have also attacked some few religious places. Even I won't mention the exact name of the place. So when we come from our own perspective, we can come with a narration that how come like Christians are attacking Christians, but still now till day one we have not raised up our voice because like we feel like we have been attacked from both the side, and it's no point exaggerating this problem. So I have made this statement as a Meitei Christian that rather than exaggerating the problem, rather than playing minority card, we Meitei Christian being the minority of the minority right now, I, as a leader from, as a perspective from the Meitei Christian side, I would like to convey this message that we have forgiven both the sides. Whatever the Meitei brothers and sisters who have, misunderstoodly attacked us on the ground of religious or whatever the other agendas, we forgive them. We have also forgiven our Kuki brothers and sisters who have ethnically on the ground of ethnically attacked us. Even though we ourselves introduced ourselves as a Meitei Christian, our pastors, Meitei pastors' houses were being burned down. Our Meitei Christians, around 150 to 180 households were burned down in Sisipur, where the Meiteis were minority. There were many houses, around 14 to 15 houses being burned in More. There are some untold part of the stories where the datas are not clear in Fayeng, Sugnu, Serau. There are places coming up like this. So instead of doing the blame game, that why did you do this and why did you do that? And Aliji, if you are aware, I don't know how much you are aware of that, but we have heard a lot of stories about like burning churches. Being myself, I as a Christian, my old church, which was in Thamnapokpi, was also burned by the mobs. I won't, particularly term a community on doing this. But what I want to make clear is like both sides have already done enough destruction, and 31 to around 35 mandirs were also burned down. And religiously, I being a Christian, and as much as I have sentiment for a religious place, the Hindus or the Meiteis will also have a religious sentiment on their ground also. And when it comes to number of mandirs, like you must be also aware that being myself as a Meitei, ethnically Meitei, we have a specific area, specific, historical aspect that the mandir should be built in the one specific place, and the mandir should be there in a specific place. And being myself as a Christian, I know the Christian ethics that when 20 families and when 30 families come together, we can form a fellowship, we can form a church, and that is the number, the reason why the churches numbers were a little bigger on this community attack of the church's background and the religious background. But keeping aside all this blame game, I as a mediator of peace would like to come up with this narration that cookies have also burned cookies have also even burned, I didn't wanted to mention this, but cookies have also accidentally burned churches, and we have the list of the number where we will be coming very official very soon, but not in a personal background, but we are trying to do this on the ground of a forum. And we have the
Just a
list
minute,
of
Rohanji, cookies have accidentally burned churches also. I mean, you mean the Meitei churches, but
yeah, the
if
Meitei
that
Christian.
is, if going by what you are saying, if that's correct, then how can one burn churches accidentally? I mean, it's visible to everyone that you're entering a church. Yes.
So that is the reason why Aliji, I also wanted to come up with this perspective why our Cookie brothers are using the Christian cards when we Meitei Christians are also being attacked. Then the narration is completely false. Like our Meitei Christians, 150 to 180 household, even the pastor who is pastoring in that church, when their houses are attacked, when those pastor who has been, shipping them for years and years have been attacked, how
But
can you come
are
to the net?
the are the cookies actually using the Christian card? Are they?
Yes,
Do you think so?
I'm very
Because
much.
I, because I heard the speech at in Paris at the European Union, which I think they have no business to speak about our matters at all. Because people in Delhi itself, a regular Christian would not understand what's happening in Manipur. For example, a cookie church. For example, a cookie church.
Mhm.
The custom is totally different than a regular church in Delhi. For example, there are dances that can happen in a cookie church. They can be sacrificed. They can be an offering of fruit and vegetable in a cookie church, but in a regular church in Delhi, that would not happen. And when the EU, I don't know what business they have in the first place. They should stay out of it because they do not understand Manipur at all. You spoke
Mhm.
about Sugnu. Well, I know Sadik Tampak Sugnu extremely well. I have spent years, in fact, in the northeast, in fact, and that's why I keep saying I Nanganuchi Manipur, and
Ah,
uh, I thank you. I genuinely feel, I'm deeply pained by what's happening in Manipur, and because in Meitei, for our people to understand who are listening to us, in Meitei community, they are not just Manipuri Hindus, they are Manipur Christians, they are Pangals, those are the Muslims. Like in 1972,
very
there was
true.
Mr.
Very
Ali
true.
Modi, one of the former chief ministers of Manipur. He was a
Mhm.
Pangal, and
Yeah.
like Bengal se aaye to Bengal. Like so, they are Sanamai. Sanamai is a totally different religion. Like in Kangla Port, there's a different temple of theirs. Near Lake Loktak, in fact. So people
Mhm.
must understand. Yes, you are absolutely right, Rohan. It's not about Hindus versus Christians. It's an ethnic clash over here. Yes. So sorry.
Yes.
Moving
Very
forward. You
true.
were saying that.
And that is the reason why, Aliji, we have right now many Naga churches standing very high and tall in Infal Valley. Not only in Infal Valley, but I can say in all parts of the valley. Yes, accidentally, Meiteis have attacked at least a few like one or two, three churches might be who belongs to the Naga community though. That was a misconception though. But when the Naga churches are standing tall, Aliji, you cannot blame the entire Christian card and tell that we Christians are being attacked. And I would also request the EU, especially, that EU should not be responsible for breaking the territorial integrity of Manipur using Christian card. Even though I, being a Christian, I love Christ as much as I can. And if any outer force comes to me and tell if you have to leave Christ or if you want to die, I would possibly say I want to die itself for Christ. And that much is a love that I had for Christ. But if you come to me again with a second question, Rohan, using the Christian card, we want to break Manipur into pieces, I would be the first person, first Christian, Manipur, Meitei Christian to say, no, this is very wrong. Whatever the community or whatever the religion in Christian card you play, I would be the first Meitei Christian to say no on this matter. So this 2 point has to be made very clear. And Aliji, if you are aware, 200 around 40 to 50 churches are the Meitei churches, which was in the burning down list. And to your information, this 240 to 50 church was used as a list by the Kuki brothers and sisters to get fundings from EU and the other Western countries. And none of the funds has, to my knowledge, reached to the Meitei Christians, but they have used all these funds to drain away to the Kuki him themselves. When they are using our Meitei Christian churches, they are draining out the funds for the like Kuki themselves. So I kind of feel like something is fishy, something is being well played, and why when I myself as a Meitei Christians come out with a very vocal voice narrating both side of the story, where the mandirs are also burned, when the churches are also burned, how come you can call me Judah Iscariot, like, terming me someone else who has denied, all of the Christianity? I have done nothing against the Lord. Aliji, I'll also give you one more example. I'm so sorry to quote like this, but how can you say, religiously the Muslims are connected to the western countries of the Muslim country? Whenever there is any fight against the Muslim countries or against, let's say, I won't quote a single country still though, but the Muslim right now here in India loves as much as Allah, and also they love as much as India. And this is the real difference between patriotism and love for their God. And this should be properly, differentiated. You can't mix up these things. And when you yourself are responsible for all the refugees and illegal immigrants coming from the outer sources and breaking the territorial integrity of Manipur, and it's not just Manipur. The same thing can happen in Shillong. The same thing can happen in Nagaland. I can guarantee the same thing can happen in Mizoram too, where there are shelters happening right now. See the number of rise of the drug issues coming up in Mizoram news every day. The Mizoram police is uploading. How can you accept this in the name of Christianity? How can you just keep on accepting that Christian card, and all these kind of things are increasing right now. I won't say, I won't represent myself now as a Meitei. Let me speak as a Manipuri. When I'm a Manipuri as an Indian, like, we really do care for the territorial integrity of India. And this is not just a Manipuri problem right now. This has come to a national level, and this has come to a national security threat. So I feel like government of India should also have a proper eye on that. So Aliji, coming back to your the $1 million question of like how peace can be maintained, I have some solution. Number one, we better do the NRC thing, proper screening, the proper finger signature where all the citizens are properly met. Why the Meiteis don't fair on that? The Nagas won't fair on that. Why the Kukis are so fearful when we say of NRC? Like, because like we feel like we have a long history where we have been living here in the country, and we are also not blaming all the Kukis and terming them as illegal immigrants. Aliji, for your information, in 2021, in the month of April, I was called by a very big student organization in Moray on the ground of humanity ground. I went there. I helped out around some few thousands of illegal immigrants, refugees during that time. I provided, fooding and all proper on the ground of religious, on the ground of humanity ground. And when I myself have gone there and helped by myself the refugees there, people come up with a dry argument that there is no presence of refugees and illegal immigrants. Like, it's in one way it's very funny. So I just want to make up a perspective that Aliji, to maintain peace, NRC is very important. Secondly, poppy plantations and all these narco terrorism should be immediately stopped. Being despite that, our Manipur has now become a very big target for the like same as what is happening in the golden triangle of Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam. For your again information, it was highlighted by the one of the most respectable mainland Indian, and it was a data of the NAB, Narcotics and the Narcotics and Bureau Department. And out of 15,400 acres of land found to be poppy cultivated in Manipur on the year of 2017 to 2023, around 13,122 specifically comes and falls from the Kuki dominated area. This is a proof itself. We are not blaming and we are not terming. We are the proof itself. Facts. The facts itself is answering the question itself. So we are requesting our Kuki brothers and sisters not to be involved on this kind of matter. And what I feel is that instead of all the blame game, now coming as a very neutral body and speaking as a humanitarian, we should come to the table. We should come to the table, no matter of what the egos or whatever has happened before. We must come to the table, sit, talk, and discuss what can be done. And let us see which community is not turning up. And that will prove itself that they want more of violence. And Meiteis, and as a Manipuri, we are always ready. We have been opening our hearts. Please come in the table. Let's talk. Let's talk as much as I can. And as you said, Aliji, and when you are coding in Manipuri, the term, I Manipur, Nungsi, Manipur is that Manipur which you saw long time back, and that Manipur is the Manipur which we are trying to preserve right now. And Kukis, on the other hand, using religious background and so many other minority and tribal background, they are demanding for separate administration, which is ultimately itself is trying to break the territorial integrity of Manipur. And even though we as a Christian, Meitei Christian, we won't be accepting that thing from our side. So we want peace in Manipur as soon as we can, keeping aside our ego, my ego, every ego. I would like to request to all our Kuki brothers and sisters, and also to all our Meitei brothers and sisters with folded hands. Yes, violence has been done enough from both the sides. The women and children are already so affected, and all those affected are those people who never were involved in this thing. I always hear the cry and complaints from both the communities that when we have nothing to do of this violence, Rohan, why are we getting attacked from both the sides? So my appeal would be especially to all the politicians, to the elites, and to all the high classified guru and gurujis and classified profiles who are one or the other way involving in this violence, that it is high time for you to guys to please come to a table, talk, not just look for your personal interests and personal and vested agendas, because your people are suffering right now. Not just the Meiteis, not just the Kuki, both people are suffering, and even all the communities in Manipur are affected. Not just the Meiteis and Kukis, the Nagas are affected, the Meitei Pangals are affected, the Gorkhas are affected. Every communities are affected right now in Manipur. So it would be a very appealing, welcoming thing that you guys come to a table, talk. We are ready to, surrender each and everything, whatever, not just from the perspective of Meitei, but as a Manipuri to listen to what the peace talk would look like. And that is what I can suggest, Mr. Aliji.
Rohan, very well brought out by you that dialogue is the only way forward. One has to talk, and the peace talks have to start, have to happen. Well, don't sit there waiting for the government only to initiate peace action. Then that, of
Yeah.
course, is there. But then we must do something ourselves, which means don't take violence, don't take the path of violence, don't do vandalization, don't do anything. Sit and talk. Sort out your differences, sort out your miscommunication over here. Rohan, I truly thank you for your time, and I'm being a totally neutral party. I'm neither Meitei nor Kuki. I only favor Manipur. I would say
Yes.
I'm a Manipuri myself, and I know Manipur better than I know my own hometown, in fact. And I feel
Okay.
for people for the Northeast, be it you mentioned about Mizoram, be it the Chakmas of the Mizoram, be it any tribe, be it the Apatami tribe of Arunachal Pradesh, be it the Garos or the Khalis of Shillong, be it the in Nagaland you mentioned, be it the Ao, the Ngami, Chang, Tagan, Sema, Lota, Konyak, be it any tribe. Be it the Meitei, Paite, be it the Pangals, be it the Meitei Christians. In fact, I stand for people from the Northeast. Very simple as that. I have been ADC to Corps Commander of the Spare Corps, to two co-commanders. I have served with the Assam Rifles. I have spent my childhood. I grew up there. I started my class nursery from the Northeast, in fact. So I generally feel, though I might look like a Mayank, as you might say, but I definitely am not a Mayank. From my heart, I am one of the people who are listening to me from Northeast. Rohan,
Okay.
once again, I thank you for your time and praying wholeheartedly from the bottom of my heart for peace and normalcy to come to a beautiful state like Manipur. Take care. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you. Just ending the broadcast.